Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're tackling a fun problem called taking maximum energy from the Mystic Dungeon. It sounds like something out of a video game, and it involves a neat trick to solve it efficiently. Let's dive in and break it down together. So here's the setup. We're given a list of numbers called energy, and an integer k. The energy list represents magicians in a line, and each one can give you positive or negative energy. Our task is to choose a starting magician, take their energy, and then we're forced to teleport k spots forward. We take that magician's energy, teleport k more spots and so on, until we jump right off the end of the line. The goal is to figure out which starting point gives us the absolute maximum total energy. Let's make sure the rules are crystal clear. We can start absolutely anywhere, index 0, index 5, wherever. The crucial part is the jump. If k is 3, and we start at index 1, our fixed path is index 1, then 4, then 7 and so on. We have to collect the energy from every single stop on that path. Our final score is the sum of all energy collected, and we want to find the highest possible score out of all possible starting points. Let's walk through the first example to see this in action. The energy list is on screen, and k is 3. What if we start at the very beginning, at index 0? We immediately get 5 energy. Our next forced stop is index 0 plus 3, which is index 3. At that spot we find negative 5 energy. So our total is 5 plus negative 5, which is 0. The next jump would take us to index 6, but the list isn't that long, so our journey ends right there. The total for this path is 0. Okay, let's try a different starting point. What if we begin at index 1? We collect 2 energy. The next jump is to index 1 plus 3. So, index 4. There, we collect 1 more energy. Our total for this path is 2 plus 1, which equals 3. After this, the next jump to index 7 is out of bounds, so we stop. So far, a score of 3 is our new best. If we quickly check the remaining starting points, starting at index 2 just gives us negative 10, because the next jump is out of bounds. Starting at index 3 gives negative 5, and starting at index 4 gives us 1. Now we just look at all the possible totals we found. 0, 3, negative 10, negative 5, and 1. The biggest of these is 3. And that's our final answer. Just a quick heads up, we'll be walking through the solution using Python, but don't worry if that's not your main language. The logic is the same everywhere, and I'll be showing the full code for Java, C++, and JavaScript towards the end of the video. So the most direct way to solve this is to just code up what we did by hand. We could write a loop that tries every single index as a starting point. Inside that loop, another loop would simulate the jumps by k and add up the energy. This works, and it would give us the right answer. But it's not very efficient. We end up recalculating parts of paths we've already seen, which is a big hint that there's a faster way. Here's the clever insight. The paths don't cross. If k is 3, the path starting at index 0 will never visit the same spots as the path starting at index 1. This means we have k, completely separate, independent chains of magicians. Instead of starting at the beginning of each chain and moving forward, what if we flipped our perspective and started at the end of each chain and worked our way backward? Think about what this means. Let's say we are at some magician J. The total energy you can get by starting your journey at the magician before them in the chain, at position J minus K, is simply their own energy, plus the total score you would get from starting at J. By going backward along a chain, we can efficiently calculate the score for every possible starting point within that chain. And this is what that reverse logic looks like in Python. At first glance, the loops might seem a bit unusual, but they map directly to our idea of processing each chain backward. Let's break it down piece by piece so it's super clear. First, let's look at this outer loop. Notice it doesn't start at 0. It only iterates through the last k magicians in the line. Why? Because each one of these magicians is guaranteed to be the final stop for one of the k independent chains. This loop is our way of saying, okay, let's find the end of the first chain and start there. Then find the end of the second chain and start there, and so on. Now for the inner while loop. This is where we walk backward along a single chain. We start J at the end of the chain. We add that magician's energy to our total. At this moment, total represents the score you'd get if your journey started at J, so we check if it's a new best score. Then, we jump back by k spots and do it again. We add the new magician's energy, and now total represents the score for starting at this new, earlier spot. We repeat this until we jump off the beginning of the line. So how efficient is this approach? If you trace the paths of the two loops, you'll see that every single magician in the energy list is visited exactly one time. This gives us a linear time complexity, or big O of n, where n is the number of magicians. And since we only use a few variables like ands and total to store our progress, the space complexity is constant, or big O of 1. This is a fantastic improvement over the brute force method. Alright, as promised, here is the full solution implemented in Java. The logic is identical to the Python version. We find the end of each of the k chains and traverse backward, updating our maximum answer along the way. You can pause here to take a closer look. Next up, here is the C++ version of the solution. Again, it's the same pattern: an outer loop to identify the chain endings, and an inner loop to walk each chain backward while tracking the maximum possible energy. Feel free to pause and review the code. And finally, here is the solution in JavaScript. Hopefully, seeing the same core logic implemented in a few different languages helps solidify the concept of this reverse traversal technique. So let's wrap up with the key ideas. The brute force approach of checking every path from its start is a valid way to think, but it's often too slow. The big lesson here is that sometimes looking at a problem backward is the key. By realizing the problem was just k-separate, non-overlapping chains, we could process each one very efficiently. This simple change in perspective took us from a slow solution to a very fast, linear time one. If you enjoyed this problem and want to keep practicing, the learning doesn't have to stop here. I've organized all my video solutions into handy playlists. Whether you're looking to grind through more Leetcode easy, medium, or hard problems, or you want to master a specific topic like sliding window or dynamic programming, I've got a playlist for you. It's the perfect way to focus your study sessions. Go to the playlist tab and find a playlist that fits your goals. Also, if you're looking for even more Leetcode problems beyond the daily challenge, I've started a second channel called Leetcode Unlocked. It's where I'll be posting solutions to a ton of other problems, so if you're serious about your interview prep, be sure to check it out. The link is in the description below. Hope this Leetcode solution breakdown made sense. If it helped, give that like button a click, maybe subscribe for more, or drop a comment if you have questions. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you know straight away when I upload a video, because I upload videos daily. This channel doesn't make any money from sponsorships or ads yet, so if you're feeling generous, there's always the Boba Fund. Keep coding, and I'll catch you in the next one.